Well, it has been an entire year since I made that original Splatoon community video. Yeah, it feels weird to me, but it has been an entire year since I made the video The Problems with the Splatoon community. The very first time I ever stated some, let's just say, maybe controversial opinions. Okay, not really. And it's been a year, and quite a bit has changed within that year for myself. A lot of stuff has happened. I finally reached 1,000 subscribers, and then eventually reached 4,000 subscribers, and have gained so many fans, and have just gotten a lot of people who don't understand that what I'm stating is opinions, but that's a discussion for another day. But the point is, a lot has happened, and I kind of want to know, is that the same for the Splatoon community? Because, hey, the original Splatoon community video was, at the time, my biggest video I had made at that point in terms of editing wise. And given I put so much time into the video and had a lot of opinions to share, has anything changed? Has my video maybe resonated with people? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. Well, not really I'm the one who's making this video, so I'm going to talk about if this stuff has changed or not. So, let's begin. Okay, so has anything changed regarding the GmodSFM animation side of the community? Well, not much. And if anything, I'd say it's gotten worse since before. So Pool, guess what? Still hasn't made a post or anything saying what's been going on and what he intends to do. And to be honest, I don't think he ever will. It really does stink considering he was the top of the tier when it came to Splatoon animating, or animating in general. Seriously, I've never seen animations this good, but I don't think we're ever going to see him ever again, honestly. And I know, and I've heard that some people have said that he's on Violet VR's channel, but the fact that he has not said anything on his main channel is still baffling to me. And I understand that he's probably got a lot of stuff going on in his personal life, and it does seem that he's definitely taking bigger steps in terms of his animating career. But the thing is it that hard to make a community post explaining yourself if you want to stop doing YouTube? Well, no, it's not. It's not, because if it was hard, then I wouldn't make that many community posts. So I don't expect anything from Pool at this point. I don't think you should either. Don't expect him to come back ever, because to be honest, I don't think he will. I mean, what has he done within the past 2 years? Nothing really. But that's Pool. What about the others? Well, not much. And I will have to apologize, because I did leave some stuff out in the original Splatoon video regarding some of the controversies. But that's because these things weren't necessarily brought into my attention until later, or I didn't get a better understanding of what happened. But GFCraze634, I mentioned him in the video, and at the time I didn't understand, or well, actually realized that there was a much more dark side going on with him, and essentially, he eventually made this drawn-out apology to essentially asking some people online to send him foot pictures for his own needs. Yeah, real nice. Real good. There's a lot of other stuff to that, but I'll leave a link in the description to a video who explains that situation much better than I ever could, so please watch his video if you want to understand the whole GFCraze634 situation. But it is old news, so yeah, but may as well mention it. And Alex Spider still hasn't changed. He's still making Gmod, and you know what? I don't really care, honestly. If you want to do Gmod, that's completely fine. But I would just love to see some sort of evolution, because it just feels like the same thing over and over, honestly. And I get it. If you want to do that, that's completely fine, but try something different at the very least. Try new, software, maybe like SFM or something. I don't know. But honestly, I just don't really care, so yeah. So overall, nothing's really changed in this community. So, yeah. Moving on to the poster creators, there isn't really much to say. Honestly, I have nothing to say about the poster creators, considering I don't even look at many anymore. I will get into this a little bit more later, but I honestly just don't have much to say because most of the ones that I used to watch aren't around anymore. And regarding the whole thing I spilled out about the whole birthdays, poster stuff, and like all that jazz, do I still agree with what I said back then? Yes, I do. I do still hold my stance a year later, and nothing's really happened as of then, so I'm not really gonna comment on much. So, yeah, nothing's really happened. So, let's move on to the actual Splat Supers. Alright, now it's time to go back into the whole Splat Super stuff, and I'm going to go through each one in order of how I did last time. So, we'll first talk about Skull Sharks. Well, his name now is Skull. Interestingly enough, he actually lost subscribers, to be honest. He actually used to have more, but it wasn't a very big drop. It was a drop nonetheless, and to be honest, after watching a few of the videos, kind of understand why. They're not very good. And listen, I'm sorry, but these are boring. They really are. They still have the same filler issues. I watched this one playing with Latias or something. I just couldn't even watch the whole thing. Literally a minute in and I was just bored. I was just done. Nothing was funny. Nothing was really interesting. Very, very, very slow explanation of what the video is going to be about, and that's it. Seriously, Skull? So ultimately, he hasn't changed at all. Although, it definitely seems like although this has shown his view counts are pretty low. For somebody who has 248,000 subscribers, his views aren't doing very good, and I kind of know why. The videos are very boring, very fillery, and just not good in general. Now, I originally gave him a 4 out of 8 in terms of a score, but I'm going to give him a 3 out of 8 for just being so boring and just, honestly, if I'm to be so extreme, a waste of my time. So, yeah, great job. Really great. Next, we've got Octoboy, and thankfully his subscriber count's increased and actually ended up finally beating Skull, so good on you, man. And honestly, I don't have much to say. Same thing as last time, just keep up the good work. Your videos are really good. I'm going to keep my score of a 7 out of 8 for you, so good job, Octoboy. Keep it up. Next, we got GG, Gabriel Gaming, and I don't have much to say, to be fully honest. There's just nothing to say. The videos are just kind of meh worthy. I mean, they're okay, but I don't really know. Although, I will give him 1 point for being more creative than Skull, but I'm going to give him a 4 out of 8. I initially gave him a 6 out of 8 in my original video, but I feel a 4 is better. I feel he is better than Skull in the sense that he at least tries to be original, but that's really it. The videos are still kind of cringeworthy, and if they're not, they're just boring. So, yeah, that's all I'll really say. And his subscriber count has increased, but yeah. Next, moving on to Vion-tastic, and I don't have much to say, really. I'm going to be going through this stuff relatively quickly, as you've probably noticed. I don't really have much to say on Vion. Just keep up the good work. His subscriber count's increased pretty well as well. And I'm going to keep my score the same as before, 7 out of 8. Really good. Keep it up. And then finally, we've got Snorth93, who hasn't changed at all. And his subscriber count honestly hasn't changed much since the original video. Seriously, when I made that original video, he was at like 25,000 subscribers, and now he's at 27,000. Over within the span of 1 year. You know, I feel like somebody that big would probably grow a lot more within a year instead of just 2,000 more subscribers. Hell, I managed to get like 4,000 subscribers within that time, and I'm a smaller channel than you. How is that? Well, it's a simple fact that the videos are still pretty boring. They're still just Splatoon news, and unlike Game Explain, who makes their videos short so that way people can watch them and get notified of what's going on with a game or development team or any news, Snorth instead takes like 10 minutes so he can get that sweet ad revenue and just boringly talks about the new update in the most monotone voice ever. Nothing has changed. No evolution. Nothing has changed. And to be honest, I can sort of see, I kind of have an idea of why he has so few subscribers that he gained within the past year. So I gave him a 3 out of 8 in the original video, and I'm just going to keep it the same. And that's pretty much all the Splat Supers I wanted to cover. And there aren't any new ones I want to cover because I don't really have much else to say. Because honestly, I mean, this is more of a checkup, to be completely honest. And overall, not much has changed. Although, it's definitely had an impact. Because I've made tips videos before on people and they don't do what they're told. And they keep doing stuff for a long time. And usually, their subscriber counts just keep increasing. But not here. Maybe it's a bunch of dead subscribers, to be completely honest. There might be a huge dead spot in the subscribers. Because I know of a lot of people who left the Splatoon community. And we'll get into that a little bit later in the next segment. But overall, not much has really changed, which is kind of sad. But what can you do? So this is the part where in the original video I talked about what I thought of Viontastic's video on the Splatoon community, but I'm not really going to talk about that, but I'm instead going to talk about how some people have felt regarding my video. So I have 3 comments that I have pulled up right here on my computer. I'll show them on the screen as well when I read them off. And this is not all of the comments in the video, but I wanted to bring attention to 3 comments I got that I feel really do a good job reinforcing what I've said before. So the first one is from Captain Stealth Soldier, and he says, "My hopes in the Splat Supers are really going down, and I hardly think too much of them now. I don't even remember some of them even existing now." And I 100% agree with that. I think a lot of the Splat Supers are very forgettable. Part of it is because of most of them being boring. Like I said before, many of them are boring. They just have a lot of filler and just stupidity, and I'm not talking the funny kind of stupidity. I'm just talking about the boring stupidity that just feels like it's put in there just because you need to get to that 10 minutes for that ad revenue. And most of them aren't even that original either. So yeah, I 100% understand where you're going with that. I agree fully too. So yeah, good comment. Next comment we have is from Sponge Dio. And he says the community milks the crap out of memes, honestly. I had to censor that, but then turn it into some Splatoon version of it with a small inkling in text saying, "I'm gonna break your kneecaps. It's unfunny and they try too hard." And that's a very good point. And regarding not just talking just Splat Supers, but many of the people who milk Splatoon memes, well, first of all, they milk it, which is just not a good thing. But second of all, none of them are funny. They never were funny. At least with like the Persona community, when it comes to like the whole Akechi Pancakes thing, I mean, okay, that means something, but most of the Splatoon memes were never good. Like, aside from the Woomy meme, which was one thing, and I guess maybe the "you're a kid, you're a squid" thing, but okay, that one was more stupid. But most of the memes that are made by fans aren't funny. Most of them are not funny. In fact, screw it, all of them are unfunny. None of them are really funny at all. Very rare will you ever see one that actually is good. So good job on you for pointing that out, because that's honestly something I never even thought about. And then finally, the last comment we have is from No Name A, and he says, I think the YouTubers or Splat Supers aren't making the community toxic, they just make it somewhat boring and shallow. I couldn't agree more with this. Seriously, this is a very good statement. And yes, to be fair, I wouldn't necessarily say that Splat Supers are making the community toxic, but there are other people in this community like GF Craze and Heavy and a bunch of other people that have made the community a lot more toxic and infamous. But I definitely do agree with your stance on this, thinking that they are just not that interesting and they make it very boring and shallow. And I heavily agree with this. I mean, I literally went on and on about how Skull is very boring and just very shallow, not interesting, and it's basically reinforced. And yeah, so good comment, man. I've kind of mentioned it already before, a lot of this stuff, but still good to know that other people feel the same way. Now, this is only 3 out of the total of 29 comments on that video as of this recording. But to be honest, when going through the comments, it felt like a lot of people resonated with the video. Lots of people agreed with me, which was honestly surprising because I didn't expect the video to actually get a lot of likes. I thought the video would get a lot of dislikes and a lot of people just telling me to F off, but no, lots of people gave me their opinions and they were really honest. They were honest and they were respectful and they felt very similar to me. They understood the same problems and just left. So it's glad to know that a lot of people were able to possibly, I may say, relate to the video. So it's good to see that. But it's time to go into the conclusion. So if this video felt short, that's because it is. And if it felt repetitive, well, that's because it is. Great writing, me. Seriously, not much has really changed. And you know what? That really does stink. This community, thankfully, has gotten a lot more infamous over time. So that way people start to notice these mistakes. Because when I made this original video, lots of people just didn't really take mention of it. Of how this community was just pretty boring and just starting to shape up to be the next Sonic fan base. But thankfully, people finally came to their senses, and thankfully, it may get better soon. Now, right now, no, it doesn't seem like anything's gonna get better, but at the very least, I made the video so people could potentially learn from it and understand some of this stuff. That's honestly was my main goal with that video. It wasn't to see if these people would improve or not, but it was to see if fans of Splatoon and people who used to or are still a part of the community could maybe relate to the video and could potentially relate to how I feel. I mean, that's the thing about the internet that's so cool. Being able to exchange ideas and have people agree with you, it's one of the things that makes the internet so great. It gives people a chance to have other people have the same feelings. So, yeah. And it is sad to see that most of these YouTubers, or well, Splat Supers for that matter, haven't really changed. It is kind of sad, although it does seem like there are impacts. As in the words of the infamous semi-classic Sonic fan, your actions have consequences. So, I won't really say much more other than one final thing. What am I going to do? I mentioned in the original video that I was going to stay a part of the community, but I'm actually thinking about doing something a little different. I, from this point forward, am going to be a more distant part of the community. I'm going to be more distant from the community, but I'm not going to be completely gone from it. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, I mean the fact that I'm going to be a part of the community, but I'm not going to have a lot of connections to people. I mean, it's not like I even have much connections to it anyways, since I make so much other content, but when I made my Splatoon video, I was doing Splatoon content a lot more. Not necessarily on YouTube, but DeviantArt, which was kind of the main place I was posting my Splatoon stuff, and I don't know. I feel after just going through all this stuff, I just feel that I I don't really want to be that much of I don't want to be a big part of the community anymore. So, I really am not anymore in the first place, but I wanted to get that out there. I just wanted to let people know. Now, another thing about this is that when I say that I'm going to be a distant part of the community, that doesn't mean I don't not like Splatoon or Splatoon 2. Splatoon and Splatoon 2 are still great games, and the community doesn't take away my enjoyment of it. They have kind of taken my enjoyment away out of some stuff, but at that rate, not much at all, and even so, it doesn't really take away. Splatoon and Splatoon 2 are still some of my favorite games ever. But this community just isn't the same as those. And I know not every technically no community is perfect, but Splatoon community is special for, of course, all the wrong reasons, but that's how I feel. And I just want to thank you guys for watching this video. And this is a little thing I wanted to throw in here at the end. I hope this is the last video I make. Just like how I started my tip/problems videos with my original Splatoon community video, with the sequel, I want to kind of end these videos. I know I mentioned before, well, hell, even at the Splatoon community video, it was going to be a one-time thing and it wouldn't happen again. That didn't really last. Actually, it did last for a while until I eventually just started making videos left and right. But the thing is, I want to be done making tip/problems videos for a while. I'm kind of done being a pessimist and just constantly being critical, because that stuff just gets wary after a while. It's more fun to be an optimistic person, which is what I'm going to try and do, which is why this is going to hopefully be my last problems video or tips video for at the very least the next 2 months. So, yeah. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys did relate, let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you guys feel the same way. And yeah. So anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, and please have a good day, or have a good splat. Should use that at the end of my videos, but see you guys later.
It's showtime! Did you enjoy the show? Well, time for the highlight.